You're about to discover a secret that's been hidden for millennia, a secret that Thoth revealed, and that you only need to do once for your vibration to never be the same again. And I'm not talking about something complicated. I'm talking about a sound, a frequency that, when you chant it with awareness, instantly reorganizes your entire energy field. But before I show you what this sound is, I need to prove to you that it works. So let's start right now. Close your eyes for 2 seconds, feel your chest, and notice the silence that exists inside you. It's in that silence that the sound is born. And when it vibrates, the entire universe responds. But very few people know how to chant it the right way. And if you get it wrong, it doesn't work. That's why you need to stay with me until the end, because I'm going to show you step by step how to activate this vibration. And once you do, not even the chaos around you will be able to stop you. Separate the stone from the spirit with great diligence and wisdom, for everything vibrates in invisible and visible layers, and the one who knows the vibration can move worlds without leaving the place. Now that you've started to see that your vibration creates your reality, it's time to reveal something most people avoid talking about. For centuries, your frequency hasn't been shaped by chance. It's been programmed to vibrate in low and dense states. Fear, guilt, anger, insecurity, sadness. All of that has been fed to you since the moment you started understanding the world. It's not that you were born this way. It's that you were taught to vibrate this way, because those who vibrate low live low. They live limited. They live controlled. Look at society. What does it teach you from an early age? Be afraid of failure. If you feel guilt, it means you have a conscience. Anger is wrong, but it's inevitable. See? Everything revolves around emotions that compress your energy field. Hermes already said it, as within, so without. And this isn't empty philosophy, it's a universal principle that shapes the reality around you without you even realizing it. If fear exists within you, the world outside will seem threatening. If guilt exists inside, everything outside will feel like constant judgment. If there's anger inside, everything out there feels like a confrontation. And what keeps this going day after day? The invisible cycle no one ever taught you to break. You feel fear, think something negative, and reinforce that fear. You feel guilt, judge yourself internally, and generate more guilt. You feel anger, feed aggressive thoughts, and attract more situations that trigger that same anger. And like that, your vibrational field turns like a rusty gear, repeating patterns that seem impossible to break. But they're not. Modern science has already started to prove this. The HeartMath Institute, for example, showed that the energy field of your heart not only exists, but it can expand several feet beyond your body when you enter emotional coherence. That means what you feel literally creates a wave around you. It's not just internal, it's external. Your vibration doesn't stay trapped in your chest. It spreads, affecting people, environments, and situations. Now imagine what happens when you spend days, weeks, months vibrating fear and insecurity. That field around you will attract people who reinforce that fear, situations that feed that insecurity, and opportunities that, instead of lifting you up, keep you exactly where you are. Because energy is cyclical. It returns in the same frequency you sent out. That's why so many people live their entire lives without realizing they're trapped in the vibrational field they themselves created. They change cities, change jobs, change relationships, but the internal feeling stays the same. Because they didn't change the frequency, they only changed the setting. Now take a breath and pay attention to this. Because what I'm about to tell you is simple, but it can change everything. It's not the events that shape your frequency, It's the emotions you feed while you're experiencing those events. Two people can go through the same situation. One vibrates fear and freezes. The other vibrates confidence and grows. The situation is the same, but their vibrational fields create completely different realities from it. And maybe now you're thinking, okay, so I just need to change my emotions and thoughts. But it's not that simple, because there's something deeper controlling that process. There's a force acting behind the emotions and thoughts, silently shaping the way you vibrate and react to life, and almost no one talks about it. The secret that science and the ancient masters hid in the same place: sound and the word. This force that few people notice acts every single day, without pause, without rest. It's present when you think, but also when you speak. And here begins the part almost no one ever told you. Your vibration isn't generated only by your feelings. It's shaped, amplified, and directed mainly by the words that come out of your mouth. And as simple as that may seem, the impact it has on your vibrational field is deep. Every time you speak, you release a frequency into space. This isn't a metaphor. The science of cymatics has already shown that sound creates visible shapes in matter. In simple experiments using sand and sound vibrations, perfect geometric patterns appear. Sound organizes chaos. Now think with me. If sound can organize inert particles, imagine what it can do to your energy field, which is alive, pulsing, and conscious. Every word you say releases a vibrational pattern, and that pattern doesn't disappear when you stop talking. It echoes in your field, creates resonance, and starts to attract realities that match that frequency. But here's the point that separates those who understand vibration from those who just repeat empty words. It's not the word itself that creates the vibrational impact. It's the emotion behind it. You can say peace 1,000 times, but if deep down you're vibrating anxiety, what your field emits isn't peace, it's conflict. You can say, I'm grateful, but if you're feeling empty, your field doesn't emit gratitude, it emits lack. That's why so many people repeat positive affirmations and feel like nothing changes. Because it's not about memorizing pretty phrases, it's about feeling the true vibration behind what you say. The ancient masters knew this. That's why in their traditions, the use of the word was sacred. They didn't speak just to speak. Every sound had a clear intention. Every word carried a purpose. There was no empty talk, because they knew that the word is a tool of creation, not just communication. And when we talk about vibration, we're not just talking about the sound frequency that ears can hear. We're talking about the invisible field that word activates when spoken with true intention. And this is where the mystical traditions kept one of the most powerful secrets, protected for generations. There is a type of sound that isn't simply spoken. It's chanted. And chanting has a vibrational power infinitely greater than regular speech. Because when you chant, you don't just release sound. You engage your body, your emotion, your intention, and your energy in a continuous flow. And this flow creates a vibration capable of breaking through dense layers of your energy field, reorganizing blocked frequencies that have been stuck for years. But this type of chant isn't just any melody. These aren't empty words thrown to the wind. They are primordial sounds, carrying ancestral and cosmic frequencies. Sounds that have survived millennia, protected in secret traditions, because if used incorrectly, they could cause dangerous imbalances. And why did they chant, and not just speak? Because the vibration of chant, sustained by breath and emotion, creates a continuous energetic wave, capable of penetrating deeper into the vibrational field. Spoken words have impact. Conscious chanting has depth. But hold on. Not just any chant makes this happen. there's a specific type of sound, passed only among initiates. A sound whose vibration is so strong that it only needs to be chanted once for a person's vibrational field to begin reorganizing. And this is where your journey reaches a new level. Because what you're about to discover isn't spiritual theory. It's real vibrational practice. And once you know what this sound is and how to chant it consciously, you'll understand why it was guarded for so many centuries. Because it wasn't repetition that produced the effect. It was precision. It was the purity of intention and vibration. Ancient mystics, silent alchemists, and desert priests knew this. They chanted certain sounds only once, because a single conscious vibration was enough to reorganize the entire energy field of the one chanting. Picture that. Instead of repeating hundreds of times hoping something changes, they prepared in silence, purified their thoughts, aligned their intention, and at the right moment, released the sound. And when that sound echoed, it wasn't just the air that vibrated. It was the body, the mind, the energy field, the space around. Everything came into sync with that frequency. Not because the sound was magical by itself, but because the one chanting was already aligned with what it represented. Sounds like Om, which has lasted millennia in Vedic traditions, or Ra, found in solar cultures of Egypt and civilizations seeking connection with the divine. These sounds weren't just cultural symbols. They activated deep energy centers in the body and vibrational field of the human being. They weren't recited mechanically. They were lived in every cell, felt in the chest, vibrated in the field. And what happened when this was done correctly? Something that looked simple on the outside, but changed everything on the inside. The vibration would reorganize the energy centers, dissolve invisible blockages, and raise the vibrational field to a frequency no longer pulled down by fear or guilt. It was as if the person stopped vibrating in low cycles and started vibrating in their original state, free, whole, aware. Now think, why did these traditions forbid the unnecessary repetition of this sound? Because the frequency had already been released. The field had already been reorganized. And all the person needed to do after that was to sustain that vibration with their own awareness. Repeating just to repeat would be like trying to turn on a light that's already on. It doesn't make sense. Worse, it could create noise and misalign what was already in harmony. But here's what almost no one knows. Among all the sounds that crossed civilizations and cultures, there is a specific sound. A sound that isn't just a word or an ordinary chant. It's a primordial frequency that Thoth revealed as the starting point to reorganize human vibration. A sound so powerful that it only needs to be chanted once with the right intention and awakened awareness to create a noticeable change in the body, the mind, and the vibrational field. Chant this once, and your vibration will never be the same again. Before any word, before any sound, there is an invisible gateway that must be crossed. And that gateway isn't anywhere outside of you. It's in the silence. Not the silence of your surroundings, but the silence of your inner vibration. Because it's in that empty space, where thought dissolves and the breath finds a moment of stillness, that the purest frequency of the universe is born. This place has been known for millennia by many names, but they all point to the same vibrational state, the 0 point. The 0 point is not a physical place. It's a state of being where your energy isn't stuck in the past or anxious about the future. It's there, in the absolute now, where the mind stops and only presence remains. When you enter this state, your vibrational field stops emitting distorted noise. It clears, it reorganizes, and it creates space so that any frequency you release from that point on carries purity and full reach. No interference, no blockages, no unconscious filters that usually distort everything you emit. And why is this so important? Because if you try to chant this sacred frequency while carrying fear, rush, or expectation, it won't vibrate as it should. It will come out contaminated by your inner confusion. But when you chant from silence, when the vibration comes from that space that is empty and full at the same time, the sound doesn't just come out of your mouth. It radiates from your whole field. It vibrates in your chest, resonates through your skin, passes through your energy field, and creates a wave that echoes into the space around you. It's like the still water of a lake. If you throw a stone into a turbulent lake, the waves spread out chaotically, broken, irregular. But if you throw that same stone into a calm and silent lake, the waves expand in perfect, harmonious circles, reaching much greater distances. The vibration of sacred sound works the same way. If your inner world is calm, the frequency reaches deep layers of your being. But if your mind is restless, it barely makes it past the surface. That's why the ancient masters spent so much time in silence before releasing the sound. It wasn't for spiritual show. It was because they knew that silence is the most powerful vibrational preparation there is. There, you release control, silence the ego, and allow the frequency to act on its own. You don't try to manipulate the vibration. You become its channel. And the practice is simple, but profound. You close your eyes, take a deep breath, and for a few moments, you just feel. Feel the pause between one thought and the next. Feel the space between one breath and the next. You don't need to force anything. Silence happens naturally when you stop seeking and simply allow it to come. And in that state, something inside you begins to align. As if each part of your field starts to remember its true frequency, the one hidden behind mental noise. And now that you've crossed that gateway, now that your inner silence has prepared your field, the moment many have been waiting for has arrived. Because it is exactly in this state that you are ready to release the sacred frequency for the first time. And what happens when that sound echoes for the first time in your vibrational field is something that even words cannot fully explain, but not in a forced way, nor like a mechanical technique. This sound doesn't come from the mind trying to hit the perfect note. It rises naturally from your center, from that silent space pulsing in the middle of your chest, the space most people have never consciously accessed. It's from this point that Thoth revealed the most powerful sound of all, a frequency that is not just a beautiful sound, nor a mantra for automatic repetition. It's a primordial sound, pure, and its name is RA. Yes, RA, not as a word, but as a vibration. When you chant RA, you're not just making a sound, you're releasing the solar frequency, the vibration of pure consciousness, which flows through your energy field like a wave of light. It's as if every cell remembers it was made to vibrate in harmony, not on the surface, deeply. Imagine that all the tension, fear, and vibrational blockages you've built up throughout life suddenly begin to reorganize. Not because you're trying to force a change, but because this vibration does what it's always done. It restores the original order. Thoth said, the vibration of RA is the sound that reconnects your field to the creative source, the one that brings life, expansion, and clarity. It's the frequency of conscious awakening. And the most amazing thing is, you don't have to repeat it 1,000 times like some endless exercise. Thoth made it clear. One single time, if done with total presence, is enough to rewrite the foundation of your vibration. Because what creates transformation isn't how many times you repeat, but the depth of awareness with which you chant. True frequency doesn't need to be repeated because it already contains within it the order your field is searching for. And what happens when you chant RA with that awareness? First, you feel it in your body, not as something light or fleeting. It's as if every cell responds to the call. As if something deep, forgotten long ago, wakes up and says, "Finally, you're back." Then you feel it in your energy field. It expands, like a silent wave passing through everything that was stuck. Your breathing changes, your mind quiets, your body relaxes, and suddenly the world around you feels lighter, clearer, truer, and it doesn't stop there. The universe responds, because when you emit that frequency, your energetic signature changes. It's like you change the station of your life. And everything around begins to vibrate on the same level. Situations, people, opportunities. This doesn't mean life becomes magical overnight. It means you're no longer trapped in the unconscious cycle that kept you spinning in the same place. Now you vibrate consciously, and the universe responds to your conscious vibration, not your hidden fear. But here's what no one tells you. Chanting this frequency changes everything, but it's not enough to chant once and go back to your routine without awareness. Because the outside world is still noisy, distracting, full of interference. And if you don't know how to sustain that vibration in the midst of daily chaos, it will begin to fade. Not because the frequency disappears, but because you stop feeding it. How to keep your vibration high. Simple and powerful daily practices. Sustaining this vibration doesn't happen by magic. It's a daily choice, even in moments when everything around you tries to pull you back to your old vibration. Because the world remains the same, but now you vibrate differently. And that difference needs to be fed every day in a simple, practical, yet deeply conscious way. This is where the practices the ancient masters never abandoned come in. They knew that a high vibrational state isn't an emotional high that lasts a few minutes. It's an energy field that is built in the silence of your daily actions. The first practice is conscious breathing. Not that rushed breathing from daily life. It's stopping, closing your eyes, and taking a deep breath, feeling the air fill your body, then exhaling and releasing everything that weighs you down. Breathing with awareness instantly reorganizes your nervous system and aligns your vibration. It's simple, but very few people do it with full presence. Next comes contact with nature. You don't have to live in the wilderness to feel it. Just place your feet on the ground, feel the wind on your skin, listen to the sound of birds instead of traffic noise. Nature has a pure, constant vibration that rebalances your energy field effortlessly. It's as if, when connecting with the Earth's vibration, your field remembers who it truly is. Here comes another key: words of power. These aren't memorized phrases, but affirmations you truly feel when you speak them. Words like, "I am light," "I am presence," "My energy is free." When spoken with truth, they reinforce the vibrational field you've activated. Each word vibrates in your field as a reminder. You already are what you're seeking. And finally, vibrational visualization. Close your eyes and imagine lights swirling around your body. Golden, white, or blue lights cleansing and protecting your field. This isn't childish imagination. Quantum physics has already shown that your brain doesn't distinguish physical reality from reality visualized with true emotion. When you visualize with intention, your field responds. These practices aren't complex or out of reach. They're tools you can use in the middle of your daily rush whenever you notice your vibrations starting to fluctuate. They cleanse your energy field and help maintain your frequency high, even when the chaos outside tries to bring you down. But there's still something deeper that few know about. Because even when applying these practices, there can still be an invisible noise that drains your energy without you realizing it. And that's exactly why the great masters spent so much time in silence. It wasn't because they had nothing to say. It was because they discovered that silence has its own vibration, a frequency so high it recharges your energy effortlessly. In true silence, there is no searching, there's no anxiety. It's the space where thoughts stop, and your vibration returns to its original state without you needing to do anything. The Tibetans knew this. The desert masters lived it. In silence, where there are no words or thoughts, your energy recharges on its own, like a spring that rises from the void. But this silence isn't the absence of external noise. It's inner silence. The silence where your mind isn't shouting, your emotions aren't pulling you, where you simply are. And here lies the forgotten practice for most people. Because in today's world, where everything pulls you outward, stopping and being silent seems like a luxury. But it's a necessity, because in that empty space, your vibration finds rest and restoration. And the best part, it doesn't have to last for hours, just a few minutes a day. No phone, no distractions, no external stimulation, just you, your breath, and silence vibrating within your field. And when you come out of that state, something has changed. You're not the same. Your vibration has been restored, your field has been cleared, and your perception has become sharper. Even so, there's still one subtle detail that can either elevate or destroy your vibration. And that detail is the environment you live in. An environment that, without you even noticing, can either drain or amplify everything you've just built. The final practice: how to seal your high vibration and never go back. There's no use in silencing yourself, chanting and breathing correctly if the environment you live in keeps draining your energy. Your vibrational field is open, and no matter how much you strengthen your inner world, it still interacts constantly with what's around you. And this interaction happens without you noticing. Chaotic places, negative people, constant noise, these all affect your field like invisible waves that gradually destabilize your frequency. At first, you don't even feel it, but over time, that lightness you reached begins to fade. Now think with me. Have you ever felt a strange heaviness when walking into a messy, dark place full of tension? Or noticed how much lighter you feel when you enter a clean, organized space where the air even feels easier to breathe? That's not coincidence. That's environmental vibration. Your field seeks balance with the environment it's in. And if the environment vibrates low, your field starts to lower too. That's why creating a vibrational sanctuary isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. And I'm not talking about building a physical temple. I'm talking about adjusting your space so it supports your new vibration. Start with cleanliness. A clean, airy, organized environment naturally raises the frequency. Then add harmonious sounds. Soft instrumental music, nature sounds, mantras in the right frequency. Sound organizes the energy of a space just like it organizes your inner field. Now let's go further. Natural scents like lavender, rosemary, or sandalwood. Smell connects directly to the nervous system, altering your emotional vibration without you having to think about it. And if you want to go even deeper, use crystals. Clear quartz, amethyst, black tourmaline. Each one vibrates at a specific frequency and helps keep the energy of the space clean and protected. Physics has already proven that every environment has its own vibrational field, and you automatically sync with that field. That's why, when your environment vibrates high, it supports your elevated frequency, even when the day feels heavy, even when challenges arise. But up to this point, everything we've done is prepare the ground. Now comes the most important moment of all. The step that seals this vibration in your field as a natural state. Because it's not enough to raise your frequency once. You have to anchor it. Make it your new vibrational baseline so it doesn't shift every time an external challenge shows up. And this is where the final practice comes in. It's not a new exercise. It's not another complex technique. It's the simplest and, at the same time, most challenging practice. Radical presence. Living in the now with awareness. Taking a deep breath when chaos knocks at the door. Not running from reality, but staying whole within it. Holding your vibration no matter what's happening around you. Radical presence is what keeps the past from pulling you back or the future from paralyzing you. It keeps you vibrating in the 0 point, where everything happens and where everything can be created again. When you breathe consciously in the middle of chaos, when you feel your vibration even in the face of challenges, you anchor that state as permanent. And from that point on, it doesn't matter what the outside world tries to do to you. Your vibration no longer depends on it. It was born from your center and stays there. And that's what the ancients knew. The secret isn't in endlessly chasing mystical experiences. It's in living in your daily life what you awakened in silence. Because the universe doesn't respond to what you do once in a while. It responds to what you sustain every day until it becomes your nature. Now your vibration won't just be a temporary peak. It will be permanent, not from effort, but because you chose to anchor it in your being. And when that happens, the entire universe responds. If you've made it this far, it's because something inside you recognized this truth. So do this. Write in the comments, "I activated my original vibration." This isn't just for me. It's for you to declare that your frequency has changed and to leave that energy registered here so others can also feel this awakening. And if you want to help the channel spread this message to as many people as possible, there's an exclusive link in the first pinned comment where you can contribute directly and support the creation of more content like this. Every contribution helps this vibration reach those who need it most. And before you go, pay attention. I've set aside a special video for you to continue this journey. It's appearing on the screen now. Click on it so we can meet there and go even deeper on this vibrational path.